Welcome to 5 ways to cultivate confidence in your professional brand. I want to welcome you to our masterclass. I'm Annette Bond. I'm here with my co-host, Rose Haro, and we are excited to share with you today. We are going to talk about 3 main points, if you will. We're going to talk about what is authentic personal professional brand. What is that? We're going to talk about the power of positioning your professional brand. And then we're going to end with how do you leverage color to make an impact without saying a word? So I'm Annette Bond. I am a personal style expert, and I am passionate about teaching confident women how to elevate their personal style so that you are looking as good as you feel. You are now radiating authenticity. You are put together. You're dressing with ease. And most importantly, you are on brand. And I bring 30 plus years of experience in the image and style industry. I bring my color expertise and a fashion feng shui facilitator. So I would love to introduce my co-host, executive business coach, Rose Haro. So would you introduce yourself, Rose, and let everybody know what is your business all about?
Well, my name is Rose Haro, and I am an executive coach, and I'm the creator of Authentic Marketing from the Heart and also Authentic Leadership from the Heart, both systems. And I do private coaching in both systems, and I love to coach heart-centered leaders and change makers and show them how to create sustainable success while they make a better world and feel like their most natural self. I love our topic today about increasing confidence through developing your brand, personal or professional brand. And I've worked worldwide with people on 4 different continents, and I find that the challenges are very simple the world over. So this is so exciting. Annette and I have talked a lot about this, and the challenge for us is going to be to limit it to a short period of time because we could talk for hours. We found that our approach and our styles are very similar. We've been in business similar lengths of time, and we both start our new clients with identity clarification. She does it with fashion, with personal style, and I do it with business because the foundation of whatever you're going to do in your life, you really need ongoing, like not continuous, but ongoing personal clarification because we are evolving, we are changing, and the way we express ourselves in our brand changes also. Yeah. So what would you say it looks like to have an authentic, personal, professional brand that feels natural to you in your career? How would you talk about that?
So you're at, one of the things that what I love to begin with is who are you? I mean, talking about your personality, talking about your values, what do you stand for? And really, that is truly the foundation of how I begin working with women and elevating. Whether, I talk about personal style. Today, we're talking about personal brand. And honestly, they could be one in the same, if you will. It's about women wanting to feel comfortable in their own skin. It's women wanting to feel authentic. They are amazing at who they are, in their skill sets, what they bring to the business world, and how do we align that with personal style? So many people think there's a disconnect, like, okay, here's my work in one bucket, here's my style in another bucket. And, I couldn't disagree more. They are so integrated I believe that you are one person and that we want to show up as that I personally call it that personal professional brand, and that you are aligned from the inside out.
I agree completely. I mean, that when we started talking about this, it was really fun to discover how similar our approaches were, even though the work that we do is different. And I work with women and men, and the very process of intentionally creating your brand gives you so much clarity about who you are. And, you know, we all think we know who we are, but who we are is continuously evolving and developing. And through the systematic process that each of us do of clarifying brand, you discover so many layers. It goes so deep to about who you are and what your truest goals are, what your values and beliefs are. And from that, so many other solid things can be built. But a lot of people skip that first step. And I don't know how they can do that. It's just so foundational. So
Yeah.
you want to add to that?
One of the things when I'm talking with women and we're establishing, so who are you? What is your personal style? I
Mhm.
go back to one of the examples I'm just going to use is I I want them to start talking and using words. And one of my exercises I use is I call it the t-shirt word. And what that is taking a blank t-shirt, if I were to give you a blank white t-shirt, is if you could put one word on that t-shirt that describes you, how you want to represent yourself, what do you want to be known for, what would that be? And so that gives me a real starting point on getting to know that person, for them to really understand, wow, my word is excellence. My word is quality. What does that look like in
Mhm.
personal style? So I love kind of like, how do you start developing that, right? So what about you, Rose?
Well, I've had a lot of my clients have, first of all, they tend to be exceptional at what they do, but they don't sometimes don't have enough clients because they're sort of a well-kept secret. Other times, somebody comes to me because they're in the middle of a transition in their life. You know, they're ready for a promotion or sometimes a complete pivot, a new direction, and it's just an ideal time to review all the things we think we know about ourselves. And branding is more than just visual. I mean, I think that the work you do with people is more than just visual. And I actually took one of Annette's programs a couple of years ago and enjoyed it so much. And I was preparing to go to a conference and travel. And out of the work we did together, I put together a nice, tidy travel wardrobe. And I just got to tell you, it made the travel so easy, so smooth. Every day I could just pick out what I wanted to wear, and I knew it would all work well together. But the work that we did was, I mean, and this is one of the things we enjoyed about each other, is that it went so deep, that it wasn't just about the surface appearance. It was about really just feeling most natural and allowing that to evolve. So, but it's about it shows up in everything in the business, from the website and the colors you choose and they call it the look and feel. One of my favorite examples is like you can have two massage therapists, for example, um, who have the same training, but one of them will set up their office to look like a workout gym, you know, be that kind of massage. And the other one, it will be about nurturing and pampering and relaxation. And so it just goes deep into who that individual is. And then the outward manifestation grows naturally from that.
And one of the things that I just believe so strongly in this is really giving yourself permission to say, this is who I am. Because
Mhm.
sometimes we can look to the outer world and think, oh, wow, maybe I should make my massage, more cozy, more colorful, or whatever that is for that person, versus
Mhm.
the more like a gym or sportiness. It's honoring who you are.
Yeah.
It's not about trying to be somebody different, but it's honoring you and giving yourself permission. Because as I always say, when I help women, the this sounds kind of interesting. You think, okay, well, Annette, you help people with your outer appearance, but really what I want you to do is to forget about what you're wearing and
Mhm.
go do what you do best, because it's so authentic and it's so natural.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The branding is and branding is so much more than just the visual. It's about creating like a coherent, consistent look and feel for everything surrounding your life and your business. And as Annette said, they're not two different things. It's all connected. So when you are aligned with when your outer is aligned with your inner, then you will feel like yourself. You'll feel so natural and you will become magnetic and you will automatically attract just the right people into your life, whether it's clients or relationships or coworkers. There's just a harmony that comes into everything that you do from that.
Oh, I just love that. I love that word harmony. I love the word
Mhm,
alignment. And
mhm,
through that, I so believe, and it's a couple of my words that I use through that harmony and alignment is
mhm,
comes confidence in a woman. I work with primarily women, comes confidence. There becomes a strength
mhm,
of that person because they're there's this alignment. It just naturally does that. And others feel it when you walk into a room, when you talked about that attraction factor.
mhm,
Absolutely.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you were talking about like people doing what they thought they should do, and
Yes.
when I work with my clients and look at their websites, sometimes I can see like, oh, this is what you thought you were supposed to do, and you're copying somebody else and they don't know what they're doing, but so copying them is not really a good strategy. I had a client whose website was way too complicated, too much information, and we just simplified it, cleaned it up, removed half the content, and made the whole thing easier to look at, clear, simple, and it had more impact because we chose words carefully to support the overall look and feel that was natural for that person and for their business. And it made a huge it was a big relief actually for them.
Yeah.
And people would get to the website and they'd go, "Oh, oh, I get it." Whereas before they would just go, "No, this is too
It
much."
was too much. It was too much. So let's go into our second question. But before we do that, I want to encourage any of our people who are viewing to leave us questions. Our goal is to, at the very end, is to answer some questions. And
Mm.
so I'll go on to LinkedIn Live and see if I can see some of your questions. But please, please leave questions. And if we don't get to them here, we'll definitely get to them after. So I want to just pose you a question, Rose, and that is our next topic is the power of positioning and how your personal brand can give you an edge in every situation. So, how does one's profession or industry influence their professional brand?
More even than the industry is just again that same thing from the inside out. Positioning is such an important step, no matter what kind of work you do. Um, Positioning is about perception. So, for example, you may have two cars that are both good cars. They'll last you a long time and they'll run and they'll be fine. But one of them is positioned as a Ferrari and another one is positioned as a family car. And it's about the perception. Is one of them a better car than the other one? It depends. Maybe, maybe not. But the manufacturers decide what position they want in the marketplace. Same with candy bars. I mean, I love chocolate. And how many kinds of chocolate are there in the market? Hundreds and hundreds. And some candy bars position themselves as a luxury bar. They're expensive. They smooth, dreamy commercials, right? And other candy bars are for fun. They're for throwing in your backpack when you're going on a hike or Halloween for trick or treat, or playing with your children. It's maybe the chocolate is the same, who knows? But the point is that each one of us have benefit from deciding how you want to position yourself. Um, on dating sites, people have a little bit of time and a little bit of space to tell the world who they are so that hopefully they make a match. Well, that's a lot to accomplish in a short period of space. But do you want to position yourself in the workplace as someone who will always be happy to be the secretary? Or do you want to position yourself in the workplace as somebody who is ready for more responsibility, ready for more leadership? And if you are not deliberately positioned, if your look and feel and demeanor is not that of a leader, nobody will ever see you. You'll be invisible. And so that's why having a professional brand and thinking it through really does give you an edge. Even if I've seen cashiers in like the five and dime, right? Um, who were remarkable. And I thought, boy, if I was hiring somebody, I would hire that person, because their customer service was excellent, their presence was excellent, their attention to detail was excellent. It's really impactful. And so they had deliberately made a decision that that's how they were going to be, that they were going to show up as a cashier looking crisp and fresh and treating people in a certain way. Then it gave them a real edge in their whatever their profession was. It didn't matter. So,
So, one of the ways that when I talk with women and their professions is, and a couple examples, these are to me that I'll just use. And again, it's not the same for everybody. I'm giving kind of a wide brushstroke here. But for example, if somebody is in the financial advising industry, people are looking for trust, authority, credibility. And
mhm,
so it's being cognizant of that, of how people are viewing you, because you're taking care of their money. And are you dressed? Are you put together that is projecting that, if you will? I do know that in every industry, some are going to be more, corporate. Some are going to be maybe dealing more with, let's say a financial advisor was going to someone's home. Yes, you do need to be more approachable versus if you're in the
yes.
corporate industry kind of that image that you're trying to project. So it's being very cognizant of that. Maybe you're in marketing and you're
Mhm,
creative and ideas. Is We think of marketing people, again, this is kind of universal. Again, I'm
mhm,
saying it's kind of more of a broad stroke, but if we're wanting someone to do some creative work for us, we want to see, like, visually, are you a creative person? And kind
mhm,
of to your point about the CEO, you're a leader. I'm looking for quality. I'm looking for authority. I'm looking, it might be a woman who wears jackets. Jackets definitely give, I call that armor of authority. So
mhm.
it's being looking at your industry and how are you projecting through your personal style, and is it aligned and positioned with the industry and what you're trying to say, if you will, non-verbally to that person, to that client.
And sometimes people protest and they say, well, I have different facets of myself, but it's still kind of under one umbrella. I'm thinking of one of my clients who was an attorney who, in their personal life, they were kind of wild and adventuresome, I'll just say, and left to their own devices, wanted to dress very casually. But in his legal profession, he really needed to dress up. People needed to trust him and confide in him. And so, we upgraded his website and organized the way he did presentations and his appearance so that he would really come across as straightforward, trustworthy, which he was.
Mhm.
It's just that there was a different facet of his personality that his job required of him. And so we brought that forth so that he could still feel like himself, but fulfill the trustworthiness that's required in
Yeah.
many, like Annette said, if you're handling people's money or their life, you need to convey that authority. And I've seen doctors, actually, I'm just thinking of doctors that I know who dress a little more casually. They don't do the stereotypical doctor thing. But if you notice, they're still wearing a really crisp quality shirt, and that they convey that authority, they convey that reliability and trustworthiness in different ways. But it's definitely there. It's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah. And, kind of you just talking about the doctor dressing more casual. And I'm just going to be the first to say our world is changing a lot of how
Mhm.
people are dressing and different professions are dressing. And Wall Street is now allowing, people who used to wear nothing but suits are allowed to dress more casual. And so I know it can get confusing out there. What should I wear? I'd love to share this example. I love this. This was a client of mine. I'm using her name, Mary. And Mary owns her own company. She wanted to put, when she came to work with me, she knew she wanted to elevate her personal style because she wanted to position herself as that 1% woman. And she worked in a male dominated industry. And she said, when I walk into a room, I want to be that 1% woman. And it wasn't about see me, it wasn't about fashion. It was
Mhm.
really about
Mhm.
how do I align? How do I, when I walk into that room, that is how I want others to see me.
Right.
And it really came from her work in her company on their values, and her
Mhm.
number one value for their company is excellence. And so
Mhm.
she knew I needed to really elevate my excellence in what that looked like in my personal style. And
Mhm.
it's been a really interesting journey with her because when we first started out several years ago, even though that's what she said she wanted, it was actually a little bit uncomfortable at first
Mhm.
because she hadn't 100% saw herself as that 1% woman. That was when we first started working together. And I'm going to say this was probably this was before COVID. So we're probably talking 4 years ago. But others were seeing her that way.
Mhm.
And
I
so
love it.
So fast forward over these last couple years, oh my gosh, it just like makes my heart just smile because she is so owned that future self of her,
Right.
that 1% woman of who she is. And she owns it, and just unlimited opportunities have come her way. So it's not only just how others perceive you, but it's how you feel about yourself. It's about how that confidence elevates. Again,
Mhm.
that I go back to that confidence, that strength in who you are as a person. It just oozes and people can feel it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's my goal for every woman. Like every woman, like, what is that why for you? Why do you want to elevate?
Mhm. That's beautiful. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a very beautiful, dramatic, and inspiring example.
Yeah.
And even simpler examples make a big difference. I have a client who's an architect who found that by wearing just stronger colors, they got significantly better response and cooperation from their work teams because it carried more authority just without saying a word. The colors did the talking, and it made their life so much easier, because they were wearing colors that washed them out, and they just didn't look strong. They looked weak. The colors were not in harmony with who they were. So Yeah.
And that's kind of our third topic was about color and impact and
Mhm.
using color without saying a word. I love that. Just changing the colors versus kind of being giving yourself permission maybe to show up stronger in stronger colors. Would you, I mean, just even the verbiage you used.
Yeah, totally. It
Yeah,
makes such a big difference.
yeah.
Such a big difference. Yeah.
Well, I kind of did, I want to give this little example here. So I was color trained. Many people will say, "Oh, I did that color analysis thing back in the 80s." Okay, that was me. I was trained in the 80s, but by an amazing woman. Her name is Leatrice Eisman, and she is the director of Pantone Color. So I came highly trained, and I love that. But I love the psychology of color, and I'm just giving three examples here. So
Mm.
this is like a light blue that has a little bit more calm, quiet, patient, peaceful kind of feel. And so, using color, if you were to walk into a room, what do you want others to think when they see you? What do you want others to think about you, if you will? So is it the quiet calm? And when we meet with certain clients, sometimes that is our goal. So it's not always a really strong color. I'm hearing an interesting noise going on.
I'm going to mute myself for a minute until it's my turn to talk again. The neighbors, gardeners are here.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So,
Um, I think it's good now. Okay, then the second color, this bright blue, it's got more energy. It's exhilarating. It has just a higher spirit about it when we see this royal blue. And then we have our third blue, which is a navy blue. And I think so many, we've always heard it's very credible, it's authoritative, it's classic, it's reliable, it's traditional. So, really thinking about color can literally just instantly have an impact because color does carry a universal symbol. Not thing, but it definitely is a universal thing. So I put it
okay.
that way. Anything else that you want to add about color, Rose, before we kind of go into our recap?
Well, kind of a funny story, actually. I think they're almost done next door. Um, years ago, I was sort of in decades ago, actually, I was in my earthy stage, my Mother Earth news stage, and I wore brown and beige. And people were always asking me, "Are you feeling okay, dear?" And I realized at a certain point that I needed to study color also. And so I don't do this professionally like Annette does, but I actually went and got certified as a color consultant. And since I started wearing better colors for me, I can be really sick and nobody ever asks me if I'm sick. It just made such a difference in how I look, how I the strength of the color in my face and eyes and all of that. And I also noticed when I was just out of college and looking for jobs that I had a certain outfit that just it was may not have been my best colors, but it was a real standout. And anytime I wore that to a job interview, I always got offered the job. So, because I think, I had compassion for the people who were interviewing all day. And after a while, it's like looking at houses, right? They all blend together. And people who interview must be very tired by the end of the day to have to deal with so many personalities and so many people. And I thought, I'm going to make it easy for them. I'm going to really stand out and be memorable. And it worked really well.
No, color, and I think we chatted about this earlier. It's something that you can do that, I mean, that instantly
Without saying a word.
can change things without saying a word, because color has an energy. I mean, it does. Personally, you see my background, you see the bright pink. For me, where that comes from is my passion. And I know that's one of, through Strength Finders, I was actually going back and reviewing some of that this weekend, because I really believe whatever profile that you end up using, but I really resonate with my Strength Finder elements, if you will. And my number 2 is positivity. So when you see that pink, it definitely is part of my passion of life, my passion for what I do. And so, whether subconsciously, it does tell us a lot about people, what colors they choose to wear. Are they choosing to wear more navy or black? Or are they wearing, coral or pink or purples, whatever that might be? So it's definitely part of your brand, and it's professional brand and personally how we that energy that we want to resonate with too. So yeah,
Definitely. Well, shall I do a little recap? We seem to do that. Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So what we promised we would do today is give you 5 ways that you can enhance your confidence through your personal professional brand. And here they are. Number 1, through your brand, you get much more clarification about who you are, what your values are, what you're here for, what you want to be doing with your life. And number 2, you are more likely to be doing work that you love when you've done this clarification. When you do work that you love, you become magnetic, and everything is just more aligned and supportive and natural in your life. And number 3, when you're aligned with your brand, you know that you look good. And so, what's that funny quote from Billy Crystal? When you know you look good, you feel marvelous, or something like
Yeah.
that. And when you know you look good, then you can relax about that and put your focus on your work or your friends or family, other parts of your life. It just frees you up. And number 4, that being on brand, knowing your brand and being aligned with your brand saves you time and money, that you have things that coordinate. You can look good with fewer clothes. You can have all of your materials for your business, your website, just everything lines up and it feels coherent and cohesive. And so it does save you time and money with making all of those. That's number 5, saves you time making decisions. And it makes your decisions easier, because when it's time to make a flyer, you've got your brand board. Whenever I start working with a client, we create together their brand board. And so all those decisions are made on the brand board. What are the fonts you're going to use? What are the fonts that convey the look and feel of you? And what are the colors, the color palette that you're going to work with? And what kind of photographs are you going to use to convey the look and feel? Again, with massage therapy, are you going to use photographs that are energetic and athletic? Or are you going to use photographs that are soothing and calming? And that goes into legal. I mean, some people, I have a friend who's arbitrator, and she works with families that are going through a divorce, because it isn't just the mom and dad that are going through the divorce. The children are going through the divorce too. And so her website conveys a sense of reassurance and calm and uh, just letting them know that she's going to take care of things, that she's done this before and they can trust her, and that this is one part of their life that's going to be a little easier because of what she can do for them. She puts that into the feel of her website, and everything she makes in her office. You come into her office and you feel, oh, I think I can relax. I'm safe here. And so it makes all the decisions about how you do everything in your business to keep on brand. And it results in this confidence that comes from being prepared. It's real confidence. It's not like pretend. It's not the fake it till you make it. It's like real confidence.
One of the things I say when you were talking about that is, through a personal style of it's giving you when you start creating around colors, pieces, styles. It's we all have this brain fatigue on making decisions, and it's
Mhm.
having a clarity of what's invited into my closet. And it's like the brand board. What's in what can I say yes to and what can I say no to? And there's this clarity around that that just makes life easier. There's an ease, and the end result, as we were talking about, is cultivating confidence, right?
Yep.
So, well, I was looking on LinkedIn. I'm not seeing at this moment, I'm not seeing any questions. So, but if you do have questions, you're watching this on the replay, we
Mhm.
invite you to comment below. If we are sending you the replay, we invite you to ask us other, you have thoughts, you have questions about what we talked about. And if you have been watching and you're thinking, wow, I do need to elevate. I need to look at my business. I need to change some things on how positioning myself. Or maybe you're looking at your wardrobe and thinking, yes, Annette, it is time for me to elevate. I want to invite you, and I'm going to put up a slide here, how you can get in contact with myself or Rose. And I'm going to leave it up here for a couple minutes so you can book a call. This is a time for us to get to know each other, to understand what's going on in your business, what's going on in your wardrobe. Learn about what have you tried that's not working, and we can kind of guide you down that path if we feel like this is a good fit. Share a little bit more of how we can help, whether it's on the phone call or guide you to some of the programs that we offer. So I am delighted and excited that you were here today to watch our 5 ways to cultivate confidence in your professional brand. I hope that you had at least one great takeaway that you can go implement immediately, that you had some ahas. It's a new way of thinking about your personal professional brand, however you're looking at that. And, I say, and I'm sure you do too, Rose, whether you're working for corporate or you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, you have a professional brand. And so we invite you
Mhm.
to learn more about that. So, thank you for coming, and we look forward to connecting with you and getting to know you better.
Let us know. Let us hear from you, and let us know what you think and your particular. Maybe you have other questions. So
Yeah,
get in
absolutely.
touch.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.